Good evening, everyone. My name is Lily Squires, and I'm a senior at South Salem High School, and I will be your MC tonight. Welcome to our first Salem-Keizer Public Schools State of the District event. It's so good to see you all here, making time to engage with our district. First, I would like to recognize any state-level elected officials. Please stand. Thank you for being here. I know this time of year is very, very busy, and you have to be so intentional with your time, so we're grateful to have you here. Next, we'd like to recognize any state or county elected officials. Please stand. Any of our elected board members, please stand. Thank you for being here and making tonight a priority with your community. Now, we want to take a moment to acknowledge some of our most important partners in education. If you're a parent, guardian, or caregiver, please stand. We have a great program for you tonight, and you'll be hearing from various district leaders and also a couple more student performances. Tonight will be full of information and stories. And first, I'll start with my own. Just 4 years ago, I was brand new to the area and brand new to Salem-Keizer schools. Of course, I was nervous, wondering if I would fit in, what high school would be like, and feeling all the feelings. My 4 years of high school have, of course, had their ups and downs, but by far, my school is amazing. My peers and my friends, my peers, my teachers, and school staff, our community has been so welcoming and have given me so many opportunities. I am grateful to be here tonight, and I'm grateful for you, our community, for all the support you have given this district. And now, at this point, I'd like to turn things over to our school board chair, Cynthia Richardson. Chair Richardson has served on the Salem-Keizer School Board since 2023 after serving in public education for several decades, including many years as a leader in our Salem-Keizer schools. She has devoted her life to the success of all students and has a deep connection to our Salem-Keizer community. Please welcome Cynthia Richardson.
Thank you, Lily. We are so proud of you representing South Salem High School this evening. Let's give Lily another round of applause. I will be reading our land acknowledgement, and then I'll have just a few words to kick this thing off. We are gathered today on the land of the Kalapuya, who are represented by the Confederate tribes of the Grand Ronde and the Confederate tribes of the Siletz Indians. The relationship between the Kalapuya people and this land continues unbroken to this day. And we offer gratitude for the land and for the generations, present and past, who have stewarded the land since time immemorial. We respectfully acknowledge and honor past, present, and future Native American and Indigenous students and future and staff of Salem-Keizer Public Schools. We invite you to join us in honoring these ancestral grounds and celebrating the resilience and strength of all Native American and Indigenous people. Tonight, we're going to celebrate, honor, and dedicate ourselves to our students, our staff, and schools. We will literally celebrate schools because there's a lot of greatness. I'm gonna say that again. There's a lot of greatness that deserves our attention. We will honor our community with honesty. Salem-Keizer contains greatness. I'm gonna say that again. Salem-Keizer contains greatness. There are a few gaps. Both are true, and both demand and deserve attention. And finally, we will dedicate ourselves to our schools by sharing our plans for the future and asking you to join us. I can't say how happy I am to still be serving this great school district, Salem-Keizer Public Schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Richardson. Next, we'll hear from Olga Cobb, our Deputy Superintendent of Elementary Instruction. Olga has been a long-time familiar face in SKPS. She has dedicated 25 years of her career in Salem-Keizer, serving in many roles, including as an instructional assistant, grant coordinator, elementary principal, elementary level director, and most recently as one of our district's 2 deputy superintendents. And, fun fact, at this time last year, Olga was recognized by the Oregon Association of Latino Administrators as the 2024 Distinguished Latina Administrator. Olga, welcome to the stage.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you. It is an honor for me to be here today and tell you a little bit about our goals and our work. Before I start with important information I have for you, I want to tell you a story that makes me really proud of being a member of Salem-Keizer and having been in this district for all my educational career. That story is about our students who graduate and come back to serve as employees in our district. That makes us really proud, and we're talking about hundreds of people that choose to come back and serve their community. One of these students is Carlos Martinez Rangel, who is now a language arts teacher at McKay High School. Yes. Carlos entered our district at Waldo Middle School when he was a newcomer, coming from a different country, very little English. And he found at Waldo a school with professionals that opened their arms to him and his family and talked about goals and opportunity. Carlos graduated from West Salem High School, from our dual language program in West Salem, and is now one of our dual language teachers who leads an exceptional program at McKay. And this program improves outcomes not only for our McKay students, but for our community. This story is one of hundreds of stories that speak to our commitment to growing our own students into incredible professionals that again come back to serve. We are proud of you, and I am really proud that this district is a place of opportunity, that this district is a place of pride and accountability, that we take our job with a lot of respect and responsibility, and we are opening doors for the people that come after us. Now, let me tell you about the important work that we're doing. We have an incredible team of educators that are working very hard to improve the experiences of our students in schools, and we have a lot of work to do. Our students have the capacity to learn and make progress and achieve. They're just ready for us to do all the work that we can in schools to help them make the success that we know they can make. First, I need to tell you about the importance of having the right instructional materials in the hands of our teachers so that our kids can benefit from it too. Having the right curriculum and having effective instruction are amongst our district's most important work. Over the past decade, Salem-Keizer has fallen behind in curriculum adoption. If teachers don't have good materials in their hands, our kids miss out. Although Salem-Keizer has skilled educators, the absence of a standards-based quality material that is aligned in response to the needs of each of the content areas or each of the grade levels becomes a serious gap in our teaching and learning model. We are filling that gap, and within 4 years, every grade level in every core content area will have great instructional materials. Our staff and our students deserve these. Second, we are working on bettering ourselves. Education is progress and change. As educators, as teachers, we always strive to do better, to get better at the art of teaching. And as a district, we always try to get better at providing resources and supports to schools. The 24-25 year has focused on systems readiness for the adoption of materials that I just mentioned. And this includes enhanced school supports, content teaching and coaching for teachers, unit lessons, and support from national curriculum and instructional consultants. We are already doing some of this work at middle school and high school because they have gone through some important adoptions in the past 2 years. And we are also collecting regular teacher feedback to tailor our supports to schools and make sure that we're doing what teachers need for us to do and support them in their instruction. All our schools are doing instructional walkthroughs, which are an opportunity for teachers to visit each other's classrooms and just talk about instructional practices. Or we have also principals visiting each other's schools and talk about instructional practices that are moving the dial for kids. We also set the goal at the elementary level to provide 80%, at least 80% of our kinder through second grade teachers with training in new evidence-based supplemental materials for early literacy in English and in Spanish. Literacy is an important goal for us, and you'll see why in a little bit. With an aggressive and innovative expansion of our dual language program, we are also providing specialized training to dual language staff to help language learners make the progress that we know they can make, and in 2 languages. And then our third important action step, we are working to provide schools with tools to measure their effectiveness around instruction. So we added a quality assessment system that gives us clear information about our students and their trajectory as readers, their trajectory regarding the new curriculum in middle school and high school. And this tool informs teachers on the way to modify their instruction to meet the needs of kids. We are doing a lot of work, and we have a big sense of urgency to help our students catch up. But before I go, I want to give you 3 important data points. The first one is that 24% that you see there. We started this year with a report to our board and community about our reading outcomes. In the state assessment done last year for our 3rd graders, Salem-Keizer Schools' reading outcomes for 3rd graders were 24%. That means that in a group of 100 students, 24 students only were reading at grade level. As educators and as community members, as family members, this causes concern and a sense of urgency. We need to change this outcome, no excuses. Our students can do it. Another important data point is this 46%. That 24% was from last year's 3rd graders. This 46% is an internal measure that tells us that the 3rd graders this year are at about 46% in the place where they have to be in their reading trajectory at this time in the year. So this is good news for us. It means that our students we're moving our kids forward, and we're working really hard to get that number up. By the time our 3rd graders test this year on that state assessment, we expect that that 24% that was reported last year improves. And then another important data point that I want to share with you is something that matters greatly for us as educators, and we know for you as families and as parents, and is attendance. 56% of our students attend more than 90% of school days. So a little over half of our students come to school consistently. But this also means that almost half of our students miss at least 1 day every other week. We need to change that. We need our kids in schools every day so we can teach them and they can learn what we know they are capable of. So we have a wonderful workforce in our schools, departments and programs that are working solely to provide resources and supports to the classrooms, because we believe that is where the most important relationship happens between a teacher and their group of students. And we are doing all this work because our children matter, your children matter to you and to us. At Salem-Keizer Public Schools, we believe that everyone has the right to a safe, respected, and welcoming environment in schools. Every child matters and deserves a great school where they can learn and grow. We all believe that. To finish, I want to also mention an important part of our work, and that is celebrating our teachers, celebrating our staff. So we have a really fun celebration, the Crystal Apple Award, that is coming up in May. And for the whole month of February, you can nominate a deserving teacher who's not only doing a lot of work around student achievement, but who's also compassionate, who sees our kids and who welcomes them in their classroom every day to make sure that they learn and they grow. Thank you so much, and please don't forget to nominate a teacher or a staff member for Crystal Apple Awards.
The Crystal Apple Awards are very exciting, and I'm proud to say that South Salem had 2 Crystal Apple winners last year. Nomination forms can be found on our district's website and are due February 28th. At this time, I'd like to welcome Superintendent Andrea Castañeda to the stage. Andrea is in her second year leading Salem-Keizer Public Schools and is a devoted champion of public education, a lover of Salem-Keizer, and a leader who is both honored and humbled to serve as part of the Salem-Keizer team. And, fun fact, our superintendent has a peculiar fascination with obscure facts about animals. So, if you ever run into her at the grocery store or wherever, you maybe ask her about one. Just saying. Andrea, welcome to the stage.
I'm immediately off script. This room just fills me with so much joy. And so I'm going to say, first of all, please, if you are a staff member of Salem-Keizer, can you please let everyone know you're here with one really solid cheer? Let's hear it. I'm also going to have one shout out, which is going to be a shout out of one from me. So people have been, greeting me as they come in and saying, how are you feeling? And the answer is I'm feeling really excited and just a tiny bit nervous for one very specific reason, which is that my dad is here. So shout out of one to my dad, who has not actually seen me in public since I was in high school. So this is the first speech since 1996, Dad. So I too am going to start out with a short story. So a couple of weeks ago, I received an email from a 5th grader at McKinley. And Corbin, I think you're right over here. Corbin, can you raise your hand? Just let us know you're here. All right, right there on the aisle. He's right there. All right, so Corbin sent me an email. And the email said, what is it like to be superintendent? And here's the thing. No one has ever asked me that question before. So I took some time, and first I told him what I have for lunch, because I figure no matter our age, we care what other people eat. I told him that I love this job, and it is actually the truth, that no one could offer me any job that I would want more than the one that I have right here, right now. And I also told him that the hardest part of my job is that sometimes it is not possible to give everybody everything they need. And I said that fact is something that I often carry around and I feel bad about. But it is also true that leadership is about finding balances. And so sometimes we're balancing the difference between what we need now with the limits of the future. Sometimes we're balancing the pride we have in what we've already accomplished against the idea that we can even be better. And sometimes we're balancing what we know against a vision for something that is greater and larger than we've ever seen. And so I want to talk with you today about the balancing act in 3 areas that I think matter very much to this community, which is safe schools, being financially stable, and understanding and talking about our performance. So starting with safety, we've made some big changes this year. And one of the big changes, some people might think is little, but I will argue otherwise. So it has been a change in habit. We have 128 exterior doors in our high schools. That is a lot of doors. And last year we had 12,000 students coming in and out of almost all of those doors every day. This year, we have about 12,000 high school students, and they are traveling through 2 doors in every high school. This is an incredible change in habit, and it matters because safety in schools isn't about fancy systems. It isn't about all of the things that you often hear in the news. It's actually mostly about the discipline of safe habits. And so for every person in this room, our safety team, our high school staff who made that change, lived through all the alarms and all of the different things, I just want to say you have made our schools a safer place. I also will add, I think most people know that this year we introduced weapon detection in our high schools. And this is a decision that I know everyone doesn't agree with. But I believe we made the right decision then, and now I'm even more sure. And so what I want to share with you is that we will always make the decision that we would want other people to make for our own children. And this was a decision that I would have wanted other people to make for my children. All right, we also are working on cell phones, and there are a number of staff in this room who are doing that. Cell phones are about safety because most of our middle and high school students have phones and they're on social media. And what I want to share about this, as someone who's 47 and not living this life, is that they might be getting up to 200 notifications a day from social media accounts. And those notifications are triggering questions. Am I seen? Am I valued? Am I liked? Am I not liked? It's a constant emotional stimulus. And in a lot of ways, it's unrelenting judgment. Our schools are safer places when phones are away. Our schools are healthier places when phones are away. Our staff are better able to do their job when phones are away. And so phones are away in Salem-Keizer. I also want to talk about staff safety because this is a real issue. And I look at this room and I know that the majority of this room has been part of a student who's highly escalated. You've seen it, I've seen it. We have some students with some significant needs. And I know we have more work to do to keep you safe. I think we have Edie Buchanan and Tyler in the audience somewhere, our labor partners. I want to acknowledge you in this area because I think you really led the charge in making this an issue that was front and center for our community. And this year we have stood up the state's largest staff safety training program. We've trained over 700 people this year. You will hear more about that later tonight. And we're getting better at finding patterns, predicting incidents, and responding to incidents. But I know we have more work to do. So moving on to the second topic, which is about financial stability. I first want to say that Salem-Keizer will be one of the only districts in our region that is not talking about reductions or program cuts this spring. Yes, yes. I think we are all very happy about that. So we're a large system. We have a $1.1 billion budget. We have 5,800 employees. I think we're the state's second largest, or the area's second largest employer. We feed more people. We transport more people. And we welcome more people through our doors every day than any other institution. And you need us to be financially stable. And I have really good news. Right now, our district is. And it's because of the work we had to do last year. Salem-Keizer led the way in identifying, talking about, and addressing an unsustainable financial trajectory. And now we get to focus on recovery and strengthening ourselves over the next year and a half. And I'm so grateful for that. But we have to hold on to that sustainability. This spring, the legislature is going to be making important decisions about the future of public education funding, and I feel very hopeful for increases. And I need you to know that even with the best possible increases, the best case scenario, our revenue will not keep up with our expenses. So we've got to be really smart. We've got to be intentional, and we have to hold on to our sustainability. Finally, I do want to follow up on Deputy Superintendent Cobb's conversations about performance. I believe great organizations have many things in common, but three in particular. They are curious about their performance, they measure it, and they are accountable to the people that they serve. Salem-Keizer is curious, we measure, and we are accountable to the people we serve. Our work started last August with our board's leadership when they established 5 super clear goals, no ambiguity. They named, defined, and set targets for success. And then we talked to about 1,000 community members, and there was overwhelming agreement. 3rd grade reading, attendance, graduation rate, 9th graders on track, and student sense of belonging. If those 5 measures are improving, our district is moving in the right direction. And so you'll see a slide here in a moment. This is how we look 1 year after the board set those goals. And I cannot stand in front of you, just as Deputy Superintendent Cobb could not stand in front of you and say, this is success. But you know what this is? This is progress. And I am proud of our progress. And I am proud that we're a district that is standing before you and we are telling the truth as we see it. And we're committing ourselves to hopeful, intentional, clear action. I'm proud that we're a district of truth seers, of truth tellers, and of hope slingers, because our kids can do this. So, speaking of progress, and very exciting activity behind me, I am so delighted to welcome Houck Middle School's Mariachi band. And I will tell you, I got a chance to watch them practice about, maybe a month and a half ago. And they show that for mariachi bands and for school districts, it's all about hard work, dedication, and climbing towards excellence. So with that, I am going to actually welcome Houck's Mariachi Band onto the stage.
Hi, this is Houck Middle School. This is our 2nd year of Mariachi. It's a new program, and I'm Mr. Bailey, and this is Mr. Stokes right there. We've been working hard. It's still new. We'll do our best. Our next song is Cerca del Mar.
canción que la gente espera ahí. Our last song is Sprague.
Let's give them another round of applause as they transition off the stage. At this time, we are going to start collecting questions that you have written on the index cards. Please go ahead and pass your cards to your aisle, and our greeting team will come and pick those up. Next, we'll hear from Danielle Neves, who is our Deputy Superintendent of Secondary Instruction. With a 30-year career in education, she brings extensive experience in school leadership, curriculum, and equity-focused initiatives. She is focused on providing the right support at the right time, directly to school and classroom levels throughout educational systems. Danielle is committed to the support of educators and all students served through public education. And another fun fact, the Neves family household includes an 80-pound sheepadoodle named Zeus. Danielle, welcome to the stage.
Thank you, Lily. I'm thrilled to be here tonight to share several of our strengths as a Salem-Keizer community. We just heard from the wonderful mariachi band at Houck, and did you know that in Salem-Keizer, 133 different first and second place finishes for our state choir, band, and orchestra state championships have been won by our students. That's amazing. Earlier this month, I had the opportunity to attend the All-City Honor Concert for middle school, and the way that our 6th through 8th graders play and sing, wow. I'm not surprised that we're taking all those top finishes. I cannot wait until this weekend to attend the high school all-city concert. I'm going to go through some of our successes and talk about some of the highlights that we are incredibly proud of, both in terms of opportunities for our students and places where they are experiencing great success. We have so much to celebrate in Salem-Keizer, so let's start with our dual language program. In Salem-Keizer Public Schools, we celebrate and value bilingualism and biliteracy. One way that we support our students in their language development is through our dual language program. This gives our students an opportunity to develop language in both English and in Spanish across all of the grade levels of our district. We've been growing our program to ensure that students have access to dual language in all parts of the city. And this year, we have approximately 6,500 students served in our dual language programs in 31 schools. We can't do this work alone, and we are grateful to have partners with Portland State University and Western Oregon University who help us not only train teachers for licensure, but also support our staff who want to learn Spanish and support these programs. And we know that supporting bilingualism, focusing on learning multiple languages, sets our students up for success. Last spring, 489 students earned the Oregon Seal of Biliteracy, recognizing their proficiency in English and another language other than English. So that's exciting news. I'm a Salem-Keizer parent, as are many of you in the audience, and I know that our children, our students, aspire to greatness in their lives and in their careers after graduation. Our career and technical education program gives them hands-on opportunities to explore and prepare for the careers that they will have in the future. Whether that may be in culinary, mechanics, business, emergency services, behavioral health, or many other career and technical fields, our students are building real-world skills every day in preparation for their futures. More than 7,700 students in high school participate in career and technical education courses across our high schools and our C-Tech campus. And we know these programs work. With the support of our CTE teachers and industry professionals, over 94% of students who take 2 career tech classes within a program in high school will graduate on time in 4 years. 94%. That's a cause to celebrate. Also, as I mentioned before, our performing arts programs are amazing, our athletics programs are amazing, and our academic programs are amazing. I have a long, long list of highlights, and we don't have time for me to go through them all, so I'm going to just choose a few to give you a little bit of a taste of the excellence in our district. In music, more than 180 students successfully auditioned into the 2025 all-state ensembles. McKay's High School Scotsapella went to the national finals. Salem-Keizer High School trumpet students advanced to the finals round of the national trumpet competition. We're talking about state and national competitions that our students are getting to and being successful in. We're continuing to expand our programs in music. Some of the examples that we see are programs like Houck's Mariachi program, who we just heard from, modern band and recording technology at McNary High School, fully online music programs at Edge, and the Música de Mexico program at McKay High School. We're really excited to continue to give our students all types of opportunities in the performing arts. Each year, thousands of our students participate in our athletics programs, and our teams are recognized year after year for their success as individual and district champions, qualifying and placing in league and state competitions, and achieving recognition as Players of the Year. But our student athletes not only excel on the field, but also in the classroom. Every one of our Salem-Keizer comprehensive high schools has teams recognized as academic all-state, which means that the students have some of the best grades of athletes in their sport across the state. To name a few, South Girls Soccer, Sprague and South Volleyball, West Girls Cross Country, all made top 10 for their fall sports this year in academic all-state. Additionally, West Salem High School pulled in the top spot for academic all-state for football, and we're looking forward to continuing this trend in the future. All of our secondary schools, middle and high school, have an AVID program which focuses on college and career readiness and excellent instructional practices. Salem-Keizer has 4 school-wide sites of distinction and 3 AVID national demonstration sites at Claggett Creek Middle School, Stevens Middle School, and McNary High School. Congratulations. Our schools are deeply committed to the success of every student without exception. One of the great programs we have in place in our schools is our Unified program, which brings together both students with and without disabilities as teammates. Last week, the Unified Sports Program at West Salem High School was recognized nationally by the Special Olympics and ESPN as a National Unified Champion School for their commitment to inclusion and excellence. Our students are impressive. And it's been really exciting to tell you about all of those successes from just a little bit of our schools and our students. But I also want to recognize the teachers, coaches, staff, and family members who have supported and developed the excellence that we recognize tonight. Please give yourselves a round of applause. One last area I'd like to mention to close out this chapter on our strengths. The ultimate achievement for a student in Salem-Keizer Public Schools is that precious moment when they cross the stage and receive their high school diploma. This is the moment that students, teachers, and families work tirelessly for, and it's a moment that honors the commitment to learning, growth, and excellence. For many of our students, a variety of factors can make it challenging to meet the goal of graduating within 4 years. Yet our students persevere, and they work incredibly hard, and more of them reach the goal each year. In 2024, 79.4% of our seniors met the goal of on-time graduation. And as with all the other goals we've discussed tonight, we're continuing to monitor our on-track rates, we're continuing to monitor our graduation progress, and we're working closely with students and families to remove barriers to on-time graduation and increase the four-year graduation rates each year. I'm exceptionally proud to be part of this team and exceptionally proud of all of the achievements of our students. Thank you.
That's such a great reminder about the programs and opportunities that help students, like me, grow in confidence and my sense of belonging to a school community. Chapter 4 is next, and we'll be hearing from Chris Moore, who's the Director of Mental Health and Social Emotional Learning. Chris guides a holistic, equity-centered approach to providing access to the right social emotional support at the right time for every student. He has also been a teacher, basketball coach, school psychologist, an adjunct instructor in the graduate school counseling program at Oregon State University. He is an unapologetic hope slinger and shameless finder of bright spots. And, fun fact-ish, Chris is known for his love of words, many, many words. But this will be Chris Moore's first presentation in under 10 minutes. Chris, welcome to the stage.
Well, clearly the challenge has been issued, challenge accepted, under 10 minutes. Thank you so much for the privilege of spending time with you this evening and for choosing to be here. Before I start my story, I'd like to give a shout out and round of applause for our ASL interpreters and our language service providers behind the scenes making this accessible for everyone. In September, a second grade girl who had not stepped foot inside of a school since December of her kindergarten year was welcomed with open arms to a place that viewed her behavior as an invitation for healing. Her family's struggles as a reflection of generational trauma, and her ferocious spirit as an indicator of her resilience and potential. 4 months later, she left that place, ready to learn in her home school, better able to communicate her needs, still healing, but stable, and attending school every day because enough people poured into her and her family the skillful, discerning, compassionate care we want for every child in need. That place is the new K-12 day treatment program we opened in July, providing short-term therapeutic and education services. This first-of-its-kind program in Marion County has allowed us to begin reimagining the behavioral health continuum of care and adapt to the changing needs of students, schools, and families. Nearly 40 students have already benefited from this program, and we will serve another 30 more before the beginning of next school year. Over the past 4 years, student behavior has been a critical focus in Salem-Keizer. This year, we've prioritized improving behavioral health support, streamlining our process for responding to students with complex needs, opening the day treatment program, and bolstering our staffing levels at both behavior intervention centers. Our Behavioral Health Coaching and Training Academy, which launched in August, has already trained over 700 new and current staff in personal safety, de-escalation, and intervention systems, while also providing opportunities for new staff to learn from veteran teachers in some of our strongest special education programs. We've also realigned departments to better support schools and students with a collaborative spirit that honors the dedicated, skillful efforts happening every day in our schools, while working to ensure that staff feel seen and heard as we partner to address complex challenges together. While the behavioral health crisis in our community and our state creates ongoing challenges, we're committed to leading the way and doing the best we can with the resources we have. Next fall, a new team of behavior intervention trainers will provide short-term, direct service support for students and schools struggling with significant behavior challenges. We're also thrilled to announce plans for a significant expansion of behavioral health programming, including a new behavioral health center. Formerly known as the Behavior Intervention Center and previously housed in two of our retired elementary schools, this new center will be relocated to the east wing of Sprague Middle School. Operating as a separate school with dedicated staff, the center will enhance wraparound services and more than double our current capacity to serve some of our most vulnerable students. We're working closely with the Sprague community to ensure a smooth transition, targeting a January 2026 launch. Staff and families have advocated for more support for some of our most vulnerable students. We've listened, we wholeheartedly agree, and with this program expansion, we're delivering on that request. Students have also been clear with us that their mental health and the mental health of their classmates should be one of our top priorities, and that they want to be part of the solution. We're now 18 months into the successful launch of our Behavioral Health and Human Services Career and Technical Education program at CTEC. These aspiring helpers, healers, and young hope slingers continue to learn foundational knowledge and practical skills from inspired, highly skilled industry professionals that will give them a competitive, compassionate advantage in a world that needs their creativity and commitment to community now more than ever. In fact, they are already building a legacy of contribution, with more than 40 students in the program deploying 4 days a week to a handful of our elementary schools to mentor students with behavioral health needs. From their first steps to their first day of school, to when they walk across a graduation stage not unlike this and beyond, kids are constantly seeking connection and acceptance and belonging. Connection is why we're here. And a strong sense of belonging, the feeling of being respected, valued, and included, is crucial for their emotional well-being and overall success, just like it is for us. Belonging is the hard work of heart work. It requires truly seeing others and allowing ourselves to be seen. It begs us to bravely lean into hope with hopeful hearts and good faith everyday effort to know better and to do better for each other. We choose this work with all of you because it invites us to more fully embody the better angels of our nature and create inclusive, joyful learning spaces that foster a strong sense of belonging. Spaces that point toward what's possible while nurturing the foundation of our shared values and success. Several schools have achieved some of that success this fall with significant improvements in sense of belonging through intentional school-wide efforts. Stevens Middle School Principal Ricardo Larios shared that some of their highest impact strategies have been consistently celebrating great student behavior and a commitment from staff to be visible and welcoming to everyone every day. Highland Principal Sarah Theis shared that they have prioritized focus groups and empathy interviews with students to learn what they need, while strengthening systems to deliver the support that students are telling us will make the big difference. If we stop, ask thoughtful questions, and authentically listen, many of our students will share with us the blueprints for helping them realize their potential. Like this question that we ask thousands of our kids: what is one hope that you have for the future? This student shared, be happy and help my family and make them proud. I want to accomplish my goals, have a good future, never give up on my dreams, and I want to help other people. That is reason for us to be hopeful. That is an invitation for us to be better for our students and for each other. Thank you so much.
Wow, what a powerful question. What is one hope you have for the future? In our next chapter, we're going to transition to our interactive portion of the night and invite Superintendent Castañeda back to the stage. If you have any more index cards filled out, our greeting team will come by and pick them up. Please welcome Superintendent.
This is going to feel very authentic because we're going to see these questions at virtually the same time you are. Oh, and look at the hot seats. They've already arrived. This actually is, I think, one of the things that makes events like this meaningful is hearing people grapple with the real question in real time in public. And we couldn't field all of the questions, but we have grabbed, I think, 4 or 5 that felt like they were representative of the ones that were flowing through. So I am joined by the deputy superintendents. And our first question, 3rd grade is a pivotal grade for children. How can 3/4 of them have been failing? And I'm going to do a nifty thing right now, which is I'm going to give this to Olga.
Yes. We have been grappling with this question since we got those results. The reality is that it was heartbreaking. It was a huge concern for us, and we leaned into that sense of urgency to fix that. Because we know that if students are not reading by 3rd grade, they're going to struggle all the way through, and then sometimes they leave us before they graduate because it just gets too hard. So there are many things that we're doing to fix this issue, and I want to tell you, teachers and principals in every elementary school are worried about this and are working really hard to get better. As a district, we know that one of the important factors is we needed an assessment system that gave us better information. We had a system for many years, I think about 9 or 10 years, that gave us parts of information around reading trajectory, but it wasn't designed with science of reading in mind. And it wasn't designed to give us information about our multilingual learners. We have, as you know, 120, I think the last time I saw the number, 120 some languages spoken. And the students that are learning 2, 3 languages need different approaches in reading literacy and then being literate in any of the languages. We want them to learn how to read in a language so that we can help them transfer it to English. So we have this year implemented in all of our elementary schools an assessment system that is rigorous and gives us great information. And that's why when we showed you that 46% number, that number speaks to the growth we have seen in our readers that are now in 3rd grade. We are doing closely monitoring, of course, to everyone from kinder through 5th grade because we want to send students ready to middle school, and we want to make sure that our kids are making that change in skill of learning to read that happens about 2nd grade to reading to learn, and that's the skill that we're trying to grow in 3rd grade. And then the other thing I want to tell you is we're working on having the right materials in hands of our teachers. At the elementary level, the last time we did an adoption for curriculum was in 2013, 14, Eric Jesperson. 14, thank you so much. And the material was not adequate. And so our teachers have been doing the very best we can with materials that are not meeting the needs of our kids. So we are very, very excited. And I know that if you ask an elementary teacher right now, they'll say we need better materials that are in English and then for our dual language in Spanish. The third thing is professional development. Like I said, education is a profession of growth and change. And we have to continue looking at what's the best research out there for teaching reading and teaching reading before we get to 3rd grade. And we have to see numbers as heartbreaking as that 24% that we saw there. And then, of course, that considers the gifts and the assets that multilingual learners bring in the classrooms and that we have to improve or use so that they can improve in their language and then in English. I think I'll leave it at that for now. Yep.
Are there opportunities for parents and community members to support immigrant families who may be experiencing barriers and fears given the executive orders? It is hard for me to not actually grab this mic and pace now, but I'm going to resist, and I'm just going to give you a quick update on where we are and then offer a few additional thoughts. This is such a real issue, and any one of us could tell you stories about the very real fear that exists in our families and in our community right now. Stories that, if you haven't heard them, would break your heart. As a district, we've responded in a way that I think is keeping pace with some of the need. So we immediately asked our community to understand the situation. The board passed a resolution. We have distributed toolkits to families that are very specifically about knowing their rights and family planning. And for those of you who don't know what's in a family planning toolkit, I want to tell you about one thing that we should all know. Families are planning for whether or not they have to hand over care of their children. That's what's happening in families right now. So for every parent in this room has never thought about that, I just ask you to think about the fact that that is what these toolkits are preparing families for. And it is not an overreaction. It is commensurate with the moment. But the question here is really, what can everyday people do? And this is where I think part of it is showing up here. But what I want to ask for more than that is that we stay present with each other as a community. I believe the real risk in a moment like this is not just the technical risk. It's the risk that we start turning inward. We start turning away from each other. We stop noticing other people's experiences and their fears and their pain. So I think the answer for all of us is to stay open. Stay present. Don't look away. Don't turn away. Live active compassion in every community that you travel through. Okay. How will the district continue to support special needs classrooms? And obviously we've got Olga back on stage.
I'll take these. Before I go to this question, I want to add something really important to the third grade reading, and that is the communication with families. We are working really hard and we're being very intentional at using the resources that that assessment tool that I told you about gives us to give clear information to families on how they can partner with us, because reading starts at birth. And it starts in that relationship between parents and kids, or guardians and kids. And if we're working together really, really well, we can get kids to read by third grade easily. I know we can do that. Okay, so for special education, this is also a pretty big question, but we know that this is an important area of focus for us. We have a lack of clarity around the supports in all of the class. What does the support look like in a general education setting for a student that is receiving some support all the way through all the self-contained programs and then our day treatment center? So we wanted to start with a work group, and we have a team of people from every type of profession in our district, because I want to say something that's also really important, and that fixing the issues around special education is not only the work of special education department. It starts in our general education classrooms. It starts in the way we use our data and we use the resources and supports in the classrooms with every student. So these work group has general education teachers, special education teachers, general and special education IAs. It has administrators from both general and specialized programs. And we are working at renewing the beliefs, our services, and then providing some clarity for the organization. With this clarity also, we are working on communicating to families what they can expect in each of the services we provide, and then communicating with students so they know what they can expect. And then, of course, our teachers who serve our students in specialized classrooms, they need more clarity around what materials we have, what assessments we have, what are the processes, and what they look like. We are also making a lot of investments on our staff. We have, for some time, not done a good job at providing differentiated professional development for staff in special education. And now we're planning a better way. One of these things is we have not gone out to learn from other people in the nation. And this year we have a group of about 50 professionals that are going to the best national education on special education. And we're hoping that with these access, we have improved practices in our department. And then last thing I'll tell you is we are also investing in a clinical internship model where we know that it's hard to hire teachers for special education. And so we want to take an instructional assistant who's really interested, who has the disposition and has the interest, and we want them to enroll in these programs so we can help them prepare for a full year as an intern before we give them the assignment of a specialized classroom. These are just a few things. Oh, last thing I'll say is we have a really incredible connection between our special education department and the behavioral health department. Behaviors and academics go hand in hand, and this team has done an incredible work at responding to schools when they have a crisis, showing up together and trying to leverage the experiences and the expertise from those two departments to support schools and families. Okay, if I forgot anything, thank you.
As we have a lot to say, I think we're actually going to probably just do this one last question and then move on. So are you concerned that the increasing use of Chromebooks and online curriculum are contributing to the addiction of screens and cell phones, a problem that you've addressed as a large one in middle and high school?
So I mentioned before that I'm a Salem-Keizer parent. I'm a parent of a middle schooler. And for those of you who also experienced the last 5 days of a 5-day weekend, my sixth grader attempted to just be on his screens for all 5 days. So I completely understand this question, and I know that this is real. A few things that I will say. First, when we think about our responsibility as a school district, we have a responsibility to ensure that our students are prepared for the lives that they will lead after graduation. And those lives include learning from, communicating through and with, collaborating through, and just being able to leverage and use technology. That's a reality. It's a reality in my job every day, and I know for many of you it's a reality in your job every day. And even when we think about things like social media, a lot of how we make sense of the world in this day and age is leveraging social media. And so as a district, we have a responsibility to ensure that students learn to use the tools, to learn to use them responsibly and well, and in alignment with what they're going to be doing later in their goals in the future, right? So that can be everything from I'm using Canvas, which is a site which allows me to submit my work online, which is exactly what our college students are doing, right? It might be that I'm using my technology because I'm actually doing digital design or computer science or game design, right? And I need to have that kind of technology available. But I also want to be really crystal clear. In our classrooms, it is never an expectation that students are on screens all day. Even when we're talking about our online programs, when we talk about our EDGE programs and our programs at Roberts, we also expect students to be doing additional learning that isn't on their screens. We expect them to read books. We expect them to talk to one another, to collaborate with each other and with their teachers. All of those things are important, critical parts of learning. And so we need your help, families, educators, because this is a balance where our middle schoolers and our high schoolers will often tell us that they're just fine on all those screens, just like my son this past weekend. And we, as the adults who are taking care of them as they walk towards that ultimate goal of graduation, we need to make sure that we're helping them not only learn to use that technology responsibly, but we're also ensuring that we're bringing into their lives those other resources. And so just as to close this out with an example, I did make my son call his friend in Tulsa and do some of that screen time together on a web call. So we had a little collaboration and they were building something in Minecraft. And then he spent a couple hours where he pulled out the library book that we picked up a couple weeks ago. And he finished the book. He will be very frustrated when I get home tonight to know I did not make it to the library to pick up the next book in the series. But that's what teaching and learning looks like. We're going to leverage that technology for our students. We're going to teach them boundaries and responsibility around how to use it. And we're also going to do all those other things that we do every day in our work, in our strengthening of our communities, in real life with real people, just like we're doing tonight. Thank you.
That was interesting. Thank you for participating, and we'll have our team come and collect any paper copies. Next up is a special performance of Lift Every Voice and Sing, which will be sung by Wilan'Dre Bell Sims in honor of Black History Month. Wilan'Dre is in his senior year at McKay High School and is a very talented vocalist. Please welcome Will.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, found in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet with the steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our Father sighed. We have come over that way with the tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood and the slaughter. Out from our gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, Thou who hast brought us thus far on the way. Thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray. Let our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee. Our hearts dunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land. Thank you.
That was incredible. Hello? Is this on? Hello? There we go. Okay. That was incredible. Wow, hasn't this just been a great evening? As we get close to wrapping up our first annual State of District event, I want to again thank you for showing up and your interest in our schools, for your ongoing support and engagement. We have some groups we'd like to thank and recognize for their contributions in making tonight a special celebration of our students and our schools. Please hold your applause till the end. First, our Sprague Strings Small Ensemble for their wonderful music as we were all walking in. North Salem High School for hosting us, and for their student technicians who took care of all things stage and lighting. North Salem High School's Mecha Club students for volunteering as greeters tonight. CTEC's Behavior, Health, and Human Services Program, students who are assisting in the child care rooms tonight. Houck Middle School's Mariachi Band for that amazing performance. South Salem High School's Culinary and Catering Team for preparing snacks that you can grab on your way out. Our staff from across the district who have helped prepare for this evening and those who are working this evening. And McKay High School student Wilan'Dre Bell Sims for that amazing performance of Lift Every Voice and Sing. Now, back to Andrea.
Thank you. I also want to make sure we thank Lily Squires, for being an amazing MC tonight. First, I want you to know we 100% timed this, but we got so excited that we talked extra. So thank you for your grace in staying a little bit longer. I am actually going to close us out now, and I'm going to do it by sharing some pretty profound words of advice, I think, from a student, Gwen Flager. Are you in the audience today? Can't. Yes! All right, I have not met you yet, but you're famous in my mind, and now you're about to be famous in this room as well. So I was in Sumter Elementary School, and I stopped in my tracks because I saw 5 steps to making friends, and I just love it so much. And so I'm going to close out actually with Gwen's incredible advice to all of us. So Gwen's 5 steps. Step 1, fight the fear. Whether you're a fifth grader or an adult, that feeling of not knowing people, and especially of noticing that there are people around you who are different, and you fight the fear, and you give a little part of yourself to them. And step number 2, you do it over and over again. Doing it over and over is what expands the richness of our community, especially when we are expanding it in places and to people who are not like us. Step 3, actively listen to others and practice empathy and compassion. Truly seeing and hearing others, listening to their stories of triumph, their stories of heartbreak, their families' stories. That's how we connect. And as a community, no matter the challenges that come, that's what makes us strong enough. And step number 5, truly my personal favorite, be yourself and get awkward with it. Here's what I think about awkwardness. When we dare to show other people who we are, including the kind of clumsy, awkward parts of ourselves, what we're actually doing is giving people a gift. We're saying, this is who I really am. I really am a person who loves fun animal facts. I really do share very strange ones in large public events. I really do have a communications team that urges me to stop. These things happen. But I think that with Gwen's advice, what it is that when people offer you pieces of themselves, the glory and the grace of accepting it, of saying, I see you and I accept your gift, is part of how we build a community. Her final advice is, you can do it. And we can do this. We can do the work we talked about tonight. We can overcome the challenges that our community faces, and even the ones we don't even know are coming. We can do it by lifting each other. We can do it by rising together. We can do it by being authentic and proud and honest. And we can do this all because we are Salem-Keizer Public Schools.